Hi, everyone. You know, there is an astonishing fact about psychology and research in psychology that's quite surprising. When I look for big manuals of psychology, even psychology of identity, even developmental psychology, even general psychology, even neuropsychology, I rarely find any mention of the word consciousness. I see even in manuals about identity or creativity, no mention of consciousness and its role. However, we know that humans are not humans without consciousness. We know that human culture is made for conscious experiences. No human is human without consciousness. He can be deficient at many levels, but if he is aware of himself, if he's able to sort of acknowledge looking at the mirror that there is something about him or her in there, if the human being is able to know that he or she exists, he is alive, he goes through life, he goes through experience, then he's human. Without this, he's nothing. And the most sophisticated machines, of course, they are not human because they are not conscious. Nevertheless, I see in lots of manuals, in lots of research articles who deal with the human mind, with emotion, with creativity, with development, with identity, with personality. It feels like the words and the trouble with studying consciousness is systematically avoided. Well, studying scientifically consciousness is not easy. However, consciousness is, to me, the fundamental defining variable when we are talking about humans and humanity. No one is human without consciousness. Our culture only exists because it has been made for conscious experiences. Like architecture is not about just finding a hole for us to live in. It's about enjoying the aesthetics of buildings and enjoying the experience of living inside a condominium, an apartment, a house, and so on. Music, sculpture, dance, all of that is made for us to have pleasurable aesthetic experiences, for us to feel, to experience many different things, different states, for us to contemplate. And so, again, without consciousness, culture makes no sense. I have even seen that in big manuals for psychology of religion, the word consciousness is avoided. It's usually not there. Meditation, prayer, we can find it. Spiritual practices, sometimes we may find them in there, but generally, we don't find the word consciousness. It looks like someone is avoiding it. However, people like, for instance, Pierre Weil, when he published an anthology of ecstasies, an inquiry about the description from salient characters of the history of religion and spirituality, when he made this inquiry about their experiences and the descriptions they made of their experiences, of course, consciousness was there. Expanded consciousness, cosmic consciousness, intense changes in the quality of the conscious experience, intense changes in sensory perception and experience coming from the senses or in a way beyond them. Anyway, this is avoided, apparently, even in manuals for the study of religion. or spirituality. Quite strange, probably due to the fact that it's hard to make a career out of consciousness studies. It's a hard subject. It's not easy to bring it into a successful career. That's for sure. However, humans are not humans without it. It's absolutely fundamental to define who and what we are. Then may consider politics, economy, education. Usually, politicians, economists, and educators also seem not to take really consciousness into account. Perhaps to some forces hidden and manipulating our modern societies, this is sort of convenient because keeping people ignorant and in slavery, it's a lot easier if they don't have a brilliant, sparkling consciousness. However, it's still strange because, for instance, we know that the best human learners, the top students, they are very good in what is called meta learning or metacognition, meaning they are aware that they are learning, they are thinking, they are trying to understand, they are managing their own minds. And for this, consciousness must be there. It's a totally fundamental. There's no way you can think really about deep meta learning or metacognition without consciousness, at least in any sense that is sort of important for human beings. So this is, in a way, a mystery, but let's encourage ourselves and everyone to really take into account that, in the same sense that consciousness is fundamental to define a human being, managing consciousness, expanding consciousness, finding different states, increasing our ability to go into qualitatively different states and layers of consciousness, that is really about enriching humans. In a way, it's making them more and more humans. And it's about perfecting ourselves. And it might also be about finding the real wealth of being human. And this is the idea for now. As usual, if you like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. See you.